Hi everyone, Crystal Lynn, Divine Empowerment Coach here. I'm so excited to be with you again. Today we're going to talk about how to not give a shit what others think. And do I love this topic, right? Because I said it in the last video, I don't know if you caught that, but I do like to be a little defiant. Definitely in my nature, I have some Aquarius in my chart, Scorpio sun. But yeah, I want what I want. I want it my way. I want to do what I love. And yeah, I want to do it my way is the defiant part, right? So, how can you embody that energy regardless of whatever your sign is, right? And truly not care what others think because you're so connected to what you want and that's all that matters, right? I mean, the only one you really have to answer to is you. The only person who can make it happen is you, right? You have the power to create a more amazing life than you can even dream of. That's the truth, right? And I wouldn't be here as a coach if I didn't believe that, if I didn't want to help women to truly tap into their power and create something amazing, right? So, in order to do that, you have to be willing to not care what others think. You have to be willing to like be the black sheep, I guess, right? You have to be willing to be the one that people look at and think, "Huh, she's strange," right? And that may not happen, but you have to be willing to be okay with it happening because as long as you're being you and you're going after what you want and you're saying what you want and you're doing what you want and you're speaking your truth and you're confident and you're all and you're happy and you're connected and you're feeling abundant, right? And all the things that we all really want, it really doesn't matter what anyone else thinks, right? Because what other people think of us is not our problem. That's their problem, you know? And one of the ways in which this shows up a lot, this is a good example, is when like you want to start a business, right? You're just starting a coaching or healing business, right? And you're nervous to put it out there on social media, right? You might be nervous of what your friends and family are going to think. And, oh, I don't know. I don't want some are worried about hearing the backlash, right? Or seeing the comments or whatever. Some are just worried that they don't want them to see it or whatever, right? Either way, you're like releasing and not putting out what your message. You are feel called to do this because you know you're meant to serve. You know you're meant to serve people, right? And maybe it's not a business for you, maybe it's something else, right? Or maybe it's a different type of business. But if you feel called to do anything, it's because you're being called, meaning literally God is calling on you to do this because you were meant to serve this purpose. And that's not like something to be blown off. Like that's important and that's a big deal. And there are people who need your service and your products. There are people who need to hear your message. There are people in your community who just need to see you lit up and happy and shining and going after it because you're going to set the tone for them to then go after it, right? So if you care what others think, then you're not going to have the life that you want. Then you're not going to be truly happy. Then you're not going to have everything that you want in this lifetime. So, my challenge for you is to see, I want you to notice how often are you noticing that you are trying to just be quiet when people don't agree, or that you're not really going for it because you're afraid of the judgment from others, which is probably because you judge yourself so harshly also. And by the way, you get to stop that too because you're amazing. So, where are you worrying about what other people think and holding back and not going after whatever it is that you want because you're worried about what other people think? And by the way, especially like the spiritual part of it, right? The spiritual part is such a hot topic button because it could be family. It could be like you grew up a certain religion and that religion didn't agree with some of the spiritual things. And so now you're afraid to put that out there because it feels wrong. Like, again, it all goes back to limiting beliefs and things like that. And you get to be you. You were here for a reason. And if you feel called to do something, like God is not wrong. So just because a certain religion or a certain group or your family or whoever doesn't agree with it, doesn't see it, doesn't understand it, doesn't mean that it is not truly and authentically who you are, right? As long as you're leading from a place of love, that's it. You get to do you. right? So I challenge you to not give a shit what others